Good morning, everybody. It's the 8th of September and it's Mama Mary's birthday. We celebrate today the Nativity of our Blessed Mother. And I thought today I would do with you a meditation. I've done meditations before. This is a way of looking at what possibly, using prose license, what possibly might have gone on that day when it all began. So it all began really with an angel. Good news always does. Angels show up rarely, but when they do, it's breaking news. You can ask Abraham, or you can ask Lot, ask the shepherds in the field for that matter, or Joseph, to whom an angel appeared in his dreams. Gabriel must have been a special angel, for he brings the news of a birth to both Zechariah, telling him that he's going to have a son, the coming of the birth of St. John the Baptist, and Gabriel also brought the message to Mama Mary, telling her of the birth of her own son. The Annunciation must have shot literally Gabriel into the spotlight. This is what broadcasters live for, the news story of all times. And I'm sure Gabriel could not stop harping that of all the archangels, he was picked. Gabriel now had really what we would call the dream job, but this one had to be executed in real time. You see, Nazareth was a small town in the mountains of Galilee. But Gabriel had no difficulty finding this place, especially when you're fitted with divinely supplied GPS. It is no wonder that Gabriel is recognized even till today as the patron saint of messengers, of telecommunication, or of postal workers. So this house in Nazareth was a modest house made of stone wall, cut perhaps, as we know, into a rocky hillside. There were just 2 rooms and a small courtyard in which a rock-hewn cistern collected rainwater. It was in this place that Jehoiakim or Joachim and Hannah, Anna in Hebrew, and Miriam, Mary, called their home. Gabriel certainly knew how to make an entrance, and this time he was most pleased with the form he took on. He was, after all, the divine messenger. But for that 16-year-old Miriam, our dear Mama Mary, all of this was a bit too much. So frightened was she that Gabriel's presence almost caused her to fall off the bench that she was sitting on. You see, it was a very special bench that she sat on, for Joseph's Hebrew name. Joseph had given it to her as their betrothal present. He was a carpenter by trade, and something about this match suggested by her father seemed so perfect. Then one day Joseph came to her home. He had brought with him the ketubah, or the marriage contract, which he presented to Miriam and to her father. There was also the matter of the bride price to be paid, a token to be given by Joseph for raising their daughter, as well as being an expression of his love for her. Joseph, like any good Jewish man, seemed most willing to pay this bride price. But Hannah refused to hear of this talk. She was a woman ahead of her time, and she wanted Miriam to be the same. She was very proud that her baby had now grown up to be a fine young woman who, among other things, feared God. But now, all she could do was think about the day that Miriam was born. It was on their first visit to the synagogue after her birth that Jehoiakim was given the honor of the Aliyah, the opportunity to bless the reading of the Torah in the synagogue. Hannah remembered how proudly he proclaimed the blessing for her health and that of their little baby. It was in this tiny synagogue in Nazareth that their baby was named Miriam, a name borne by the sister of Moses in the Old Testament. On that day, a much younger Elizabeth, their kinswoman, sat with her head covered in the balcony, viewing the proceedings behind the mechitza, which separated the men from the women. Who would have thought that one day this little Miriam would drop everything to be with Elizabeth during her pregnancy? It was this pregnancy that had left most of the Jews in amazement of what God could do, kindling the hope for the arrival of the Messiah. But how time flies. For here was Miriam standing now beside Joseph, waiting for her to say yes to this marriage. Joseph was a man of tradition. He had, as tradition dictated, poured a cup of wine for his beloved, waiting to see if she drank it. If she did, then she would have accepted the proposal and they would have been betrothed. Coyly, she lifted up the cup to her lips. Her cheeks flushed as she gently sipped the wine to a rapturous applause in the room. Joseph pulled out the bench he had made as a gift for his beloved, and he gave it to Miriam. It was the same bench she was sitting on when Gabriel appeared to her announcing the good news of salvation. Now all Miriam had to do was to wait for Joseph to return and collect her on their wedding day. But Gabriel appeared before that day could come, and the rest, as they say, was our faith story. Today we thank our Blessed Mother for saying yes, always saying yes to the will of God. And we give glory to God that she was born to be our mother. Thank you, Mama Mary. Have a happy birthday from all your loving children.